Welcome back, everybody, to another event guide. Today we'll be covering the Final Fantasy XV event, A Nocturne for Heroes. In this guide, I'll show you how to get started and provide tips for newer players for the encounters you will face. Before you get started, you must be level 50 and have completed the main scenario quest, The Ultimate Weapon. If you're not level 50 yet, don't worry, because the event will be going on from today until October 18th at 7:59 a.m. To get started, you'll want to talk to Kippy Jakya in Old Da right outside of the Aetheryte Plaza. You'll want to accept the quest The Man in Black. This quest will lead to unlocking a special fate just east of Blackbrush Station that you will use to acquire unidentified Magitech. You will want to complete this fate until you have at least 6 unidentified Magitech. Each time you participate, the fate should reward you with 1 to 2 unidentified Magitech based on your level of participation. After completing the quest, you will return to Kippy Jakya and pick up the following quest in the Dark of Night, which will send you over to Gridania. During this quest, you will find yourself in a solo duty where you must assist Noctis with defeating a daemon. During the fight, there will be multiple mechanics to look out for. If you're a new player, this fight will be beneficial for you, as it will teach you many mechanics that you will see much later in dungeons and raids. So take this opportunity to learn how each of the mechanics work. Tail Whip is a large frontal AoE cleave that can be avoided by moving to the daemon's left side. It will cast this ability twice. When the enemy begins to cast Stomp, he will turn in a direction to jump to that side of the arena. Avoid that side of the room and stay as far back as possible to take less damage when he lands. Once he lands, he will turn around and immediately cast Death Ray. You will see lines along the ground telling you where to avoid standing. The enemy also has an ability called Needle Shot, which will require you to stack up to spread out the damage evenly. His next ability in his arsenal is Thunderbolt. This ability will require you and Noctis to avoid standing next to each other. Just find a reasonable spot to stand that doesn't overlap with Noctis and you should be fine. Occasionally, the enemy will summon a pillar in the room. You'll want to stand within this orange circle surrounding the pillar. After the first time, he will start to summon 2 pillars, one of which Noctis will stand next to. Make sure to run to the pillar that Noctis doesn't move to, because he will always pick one and stay with it, even if you're already there, as you will see here, and it will cause unnecessary damage taken. Other than that, this fight is all about repetition, and you should defeat your foe with very little effort. After a few short tasks and getting to know Noctis, you will collect the quest Messenger of Winds. After meeting up with Noctis and then returning back to Gridania, you will be sent to confront Garuda. In this fight, you'll be given an extra action ability called Warp Strike. The ability will warp you directly to your target and deal damage to it based on the distance you are standing, much like in Final Fantasy XV. In the arena, you will see multiple monoliths. These are targetable and will be of use shortly after the fight begins. During the fight, Garuda will disappear and then pop up right in front of a monolith. Shortly after she reappears, she will begin to cast Mistral Shriek. During the cast, you will want to target the monolith opposite where she is facing, and use Warp Strike to teleport to the opposite side of the room to avoid Garuda's AoE. After the AoE, if you use Warp Strike at the same time as Noctis, you will perform what is called Link Strike, which will do more damage than the standard Warp Strike. Next, Garuda will teleport to the center of the arena, and the battle will repeat from there. Occasionally, Garuda will cast Mistral Song. Simply move behind Garuda to avoid the attack. Mini Supercell is another stack type ability. However, as indicated by the arrows forming a line around the target, as long as you stand in a line from the boss, the damage will be dispersed. Gravitational Force is an ability that will drop AoE at your feet up to 3 times as the cast bar is filling up, meaning you will want to start moving the moment you see the telegraph appear on the ground, making sure to avoid dropping one on Noctis. Eventually, Garuda will cast Microburst. It will continue to suck you back in, so make sure you do your best to avoid the center of the arena, and use your Warp Strike again if you do get sucked back in. When Garuda casts Gust Front, you will see red markers on top of you and Noctis, stacked together to split the damage, unlike what you see here. Wicked Tornado is a donut-shaped AoE, and you may stand on either side of the circle to avoid damage. Lastly, Garuda will cast Mistral Jail. The ability is unavoidable, and will put you in the down for the count state. During this ability, you will be raised above the ground and begin an active time maneuver. When it starts, you can click the button and mash your keyboard buttons to progress the bar. Upon successful completion of the active time maneuver, the battle will be won and you and Noctis will part ways. After completing this series of quests, you will have earned a full set of Noctis Glamour gear, and you will unlock the ability to purchase rewards from the Ironworks vendor at the Gold Saucer. This vendor will sell you the Regalia mount for 200,000 MGP, Noctis' hairstyle for 20,000 MGP, and the Noctis Lus Calum card to use for Triple Triad for 10,000 MGP. In addition to the Ironworks vendor and the Gold Saucer, Ul'dah, Gridania, Limsa, and Blackbush Station each have their own Ironworks hand vendor, which will sell you 6 different Orchestrion rolls featuring music from Final Fantasy XV. And that's it! If after watching this video you haven't got started on this yourself, remember you've only got a month. Make sure to spend as much time in the Gold Saucer as possible, because this mount is only available during the event and is not guaranteed when or if the event will return. So take advantage of this opportunity to get your very own 4-seater mount. As usual, thanks for watching. If this video was helpful to you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Maybe consider leaving a comment as well. I've got a few other videos in the works right now, so be on the lookout for those as soon as they drop. Have a great one, and I hope to see you in game soon.